Good afternoon. Good afternoon. It's about 2:22 right now. Good number. Good number. Uh, I didn't see the whole Kwame Brown latest video, but I saw that he started off talking about another incident with the police, and I'm like, what the? Oh my goodness! And another baby mama issue. I truly think there's some kind of evil force at play trying to stop this guy from putting out the messages that he's putting out. I mean, I always say there's no such thing as a coincidence, and police showing up twice in the same day, the drama with two of your kids' mothers in the same day, man. And whenever there's some type of divine message trying to come through, there's also some type of evil trying to prevent that message from coming through. Not to call his baby mothers evil. I don't know the women. I only know his side of the story, but at the same time, I mean, I don't even, maybe it was the same woman, I don't know, but from what I heard, from what he was saying, the police came to his house twice in one day. Wow, that's amazing. And I'm only speaking about this because he brought it up again. Oh man, that's crazy. Yeah, like I said, when a divine message is trying to come through this matrix that we live in, there's also some type of spiritual evil trying to prevent that message from coming through, because what Kwame is doing is he's opening a lot of people's, not only their eyes, but their third eye on a whole different level, a whole different playing field. There's people out there, I'm watching his fans call in to his live, and these people are like, they have a look on their face, the ones that you can actually see, they have a look on their face like they just woke up. You know how you just wake up in the morning and it was a good sleep, but you wake up and you're refreshed and you got this aura about you, this bright beam. That's what they're looking like. These people are looking like they just came out of a deep dive or something. They've been down in the water diving for lobsters and holding their breath, and now they're just now coming up, taking that first breath of air. And we're busy worrying about mortals. We're busy worrying about mortals, people, human beings, when human beings are like only half the story. They only do the work for other things, entities, pathogens. I said this word yesterday, parasites. You have spiritual parasites that attach themselves to people. I'll give a good example. The Matt Barnes and Stephen A. incident, when they did their thing to start this whole thing off, to kick all this stuff off, the spark that lit that fuse. Those guys were probably out of their minds when they said that, because if you really think about it, this guy is at home minding his own business, been out of the NBA for years. Now all of a sudden, you bring him up in the most demeaning way that you can think of, or not think of, because I don't think they were thinking at all. Why would they do that? They probably can't even tell you. And their egos are so big and so powerful that they don't want to admit. They don't want to admit that they were wrong. They know they were wrong. That's the thing about the ego, man. The ego will tell you all sorts of lies and have you believing all sorts of things, thinking you invincible. But yeah, I believe that Kwame, the message that he's bringing to us, it's raw, it's uncut, but it's definitely necessary. Definitely necessary. And when truth is spoken, it can do one or two things. It can hurt you, or it can wake you up. I said it before. The truth can hurt, or it can wake you up. If you weigh 300 pounds, I'm sorry, I'm not fat bashing or fat shaming or whatever. But if you weigh 300 pounds, and you out in public wearing a thong with some type of see-through garment over that thong, and you twerking in public, when somebody tell you that's nasty, it may hurt, but it's the truth. It's the truth. Nobody wants to see that. Nobody wants to see that. But at the same time, if you live in a lie, you're doing things you're not supposed to do, but you don't realize it, and somebody speaks on it, it could wake you up. It could wake you up out of that slumber you've been in for years. I was one of those guys walking around thinking, there were no repercussions for my actions. Until I started listening to certain people. Dr. Wayne Dyer was one of those people. He's a white guy. God bless his soul. He passed away a couple of years ago. But he was that guy that kind of woke me up or started the process of waking me up. But yeah, there's no coincidence. There's no such thing as coincidence. This guy had the police called to his house twice in the same day by 2. And so what it is whatever force behind the scenes is operating right now, they figure, okay, the weakest link is going to be through these individuals or this individual. As far as I know, it's 2 people, but come on, man, you're going to move over or what? You got 18-wheelers on the road driving like they doggone Ferraris, Lamborghinis. You are not a Lamborghini. My goodness. So yeah, like I said, that spiritual entity or entities, they're going to maneuver and try to find their way in somehow. 9 times out of 10, it's going to be through the weakest link. If you got weak people around you, if you got weak people in your circle, people who can be easily influenced, you best believe they're coming through them. They're coming through them. Those are going to be the people who are going to snitch, who are going to call the cops, who are going to talk about you, who are going to try to degrade your name. Those are the ones, you better believe it. Unfortunately for a lot of men, it's the baby mama. It's the baby mama. 9 times out of 10, if you get thrown in jail over something completely ridiculous, has something to do with the family, it's going to be the mother of your child. Now, I'm not speaking for all baby mamas. But all I'm saying is, it's hard enough being a black man in this world today. It's hard enough. Listen, I'm a black man. I can speak on it. I can't speak on everything, but I can say this. My own people are scared of me. That goes for every black man. Every black man you see. If you don't realize it, realize this. Not only is everybody else scared of you, but your own people are scared of you too. I'm scared of black men. Hell, if it's nighttime and I'm in the parking lot by myself, because I drive a lot, I'm eating my food, I see I'll give you a couple scenarios. I see a white woman walk past my car, I'm not scared. I see a black woman walk past my car, I'm not scared. Now, some white men are pretty intimidating too, but it's just that we've been programmed to believe that all black men are deviants. All black men have this dark demeanor about them. That's what we've been programmed to think. I had a fence, my privacy fence. Somebody in my neighborhood, maybe it wasn't a person in my neighborhood, whatever the case is, I get a call at work one day. My brother, my neighbor who was in front of me, he didn't have my number. So he called my brother because he knew my brother. He used to work with my brother. My brother said, hey man, somebody just either ran into your fence or something happened. Whatever the case is, you got a big hole in your fence. I'm thinking, a big hole in my fence? I get home from work, sure enough, it's a big hole in my fence. So I'm looking at the skid marks on the pavement on the road. I'm like, okay, it looks like somebody was pulling a trailer and they were going around a curve or something, and the hitch came loose, and the trailer or boat, whatever it was, rolled into the side of my fence and knocked a big hole in it. So the next day I get out there. No, it was the same day. I'm out there, just looking at the fence, trying to figure out what happened. This little boy in my neighborhood, little white boy, kid might have been 8, 9 years old. This is a true story. He said, and I knew the kid good. He used to play with my little son. He was a bad little boy now. He said, I saw the whole thing. It was a black guy. He was wearing a ski mask. He dropped his phone and he was trying to break in your house. And I'm like, damn, you saw this? He made up this entire story in a matter of seconds. I said, oh my God. I said, so, and I knew he was lying because he said it happened at night. The guy had a ski mask on. He dropped his phone. And so he said he had a ski mask on, but he was a black guy. So I'm like, how do you know it was a black guy if it was nighttime and he had a ski mask on? This is just a prime example of how we have been conditioned to see a black man. I was coming off the elevator one night. My mom was in the hospital. And I'm coming down the elevator. The elevator door opened up. A black guy, bigger than me. I'm 5'10". This guy's about 6'2". I got a hoodie on with my music playing because it's cold outside. When he looked up and he saw me in that elevator, he almost jumped 2 feet back. Because the image that's been placed in our heads of a black person, especially a black man with a hoodie on, means deviant, dark, deceptive. If you hadn't seen the Malcolm X movie, Spike Lee joint, see it, watch it. Everything that has to do with the word dark or black, it's evil. Word black, everything that has to do with it. Dark Sunday, black ball, black sheep, everything. Nothing means good. There's nothing that you can correlate with the word black and make it seem to be good. That's why when they say Black Lives Matter, that's such a controversial statement. Not because a lot of people what they do is a lot of people, they'll emphasize the word black. In other words, they'll put emphasis on black. The sentence to them, in their mind, reads Black Lives Matter, not Black Lives Matter, but they put black, the word black, in italics, which that's not the case. That was never the case. And I'm not a huge supporter of Black Lives Matter because I think there's a lot of corruption in that organization now. I guess the logo or the slogan is Black Lives Matter, but really everything else but Black Lives Matter nowadays when it comes to that organization. From what I heard, I don't get into all that. But another interesting fact is that Black Lives Matter was started by a guy here in Charleston, South Carolina. From what I heard that over the weekend, and it started off after Walter Scott was shot, I believe. I gotta research that, so don't quote me on that, please. Don't quote me on that. But with all that's going on with black men, all the stuff that we have to go through, you know what I mean? You would expect a person that you share a child with to have more decency than to call the police on you twice or whatever the case is. I don't want to get into his business, but you know, he put it out there, you know. So I'm just throwing out my 2 cents. That's all I'm doing. Yeah, but on a brighter note, I'm watching his subscribers, his fans, whatever you want to call them, his friends. I'm watching them call in and they speak, and all of them have positive input, you know, positive suggestions, people offering up their help. It's a lot of positivity going on within the whole Kwame Brown effect, is what I dub it. You can say the whole Kwame Brown movement, or the bus life movement, or whatever you want to call it. There's a whole lot of positivity that's circulating right now, and like I said, the powers that be, and people, I'm almost now totally convinced that the powers that be, it's a spiritual thing going on behind the scene, a whole nother world that we don't even realize. You know, like I'll use the example in the Bible where Satan offered, I think it was the world, and he offered Jesus the cities or whatever. You know, they were on the hilltop, and he had Jesus look over the cities, and he offered all that to Jesus, pretty much exchange for his soul, or you know, his partnership or whatever. Well, my belief is, you know, if I offer you something, I can't offer you something unless it belongs to me. You know, let that sink in. You know, if I bring you to my house and offer you a drink, that means that drink is paid for already. I can't offer you something else that's not even mine. So with that being said, I think this world that we live in, a lot of I'll use the entertainment industry as an example. You know, I think a lot of these people in the entertainment industry, because the entertainment industry is that machine that is driving this perception. You know, your reality is based on what you see on TV. What you see on TV is, they call them television programs for a reason. TV programs are exactly what they call them. TV programs. They're programmed, or they're programming you with television. You know? That's the absolute truth. A lot of the things that they're doing, a lot of the things they're not tricks. It's in your face, telling you exactly what's happening. So, and if Hollywood is telling you how to think, then I think Hollywood is tapped in to another world, to a different side of reality than what we know. The evidence is right there in your face, you know? So if you're successful in Hollywood or entertainment, you gotta ask yourself, how did you get there? Because I've been trying to be a successful writer for years now. And I can't seem to get past, Go. I'm still on Go. I sell a book every now and then, but that's about it. So all these people who are mega stars, how did it get there? What kind of deal was made? What kind of deal was made? And who made that deal? Who offered that deal? And what was the deal for? I don't find these things, these weird happenings in Hollywood coincidental at all. Yeah, so there's a lot going on. I think Kwame is giving us the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And he's stirring some things up. Like I said it the other day, he got his hands in that little gap in the Matrix. That little glitch? That little glitch, he got his hands in that glitch. The glitch was Matt Barnes and Stephen A. Smith. Oh, not Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Jackson or whatever. Stephen Jackson. I don't know. I don't even know these people. That was the glitch. He caught that glitch and he's spreading it wide open right now. He's spreading it wide open. So I say if you hadn't been praying for the brother, pray for him now. Pray for him. There's a lot of things going on. And a lot of people are waking up. When people wake up on a mass scale, real revolution is made. Real life revolution. Not these little rallies where, you go to the rally, you march, protest, blah, blah, blah. We've been doing that since the 60s. We've been doing that forever. Nothing's changing. Nothing is changing. And what with the whole all the rallies and everything, the protests over the summer, last summer, all of those things gave you the impression that things were really changing, which is, I think, is part of the plan. Give them something to make them think that things are really changing. They have Black Lives Matter on the basketball court. The players wearing jerseys, and justice and freedom, all these different things, just to give you the impression that things are really changing for black people in this country, and not only black people, but just changing for the better in general. Because when you give black people justice, hell, everybody's getting justice. Everybody. That's justice for everybody. Every race. When you admit to the world that you have done this race of people a terrible wrong, an unbelievable wrong. I mean, slavery for 400 years or how many years it was, that's beyond wrong. That's wrong is an understatement. And not only did you do it wrong, you don't want to even admit that you want to try to forget about it. You actually want to forget about slavery. It's bad enough we're forgetting about the Native Americans. You forgot all about the Native Americans. This is Native American soil that we're on right now. That's why I was this new page, Navajo. I don't want to mess the page up. I'll put it in the description. There's a page I'm looking at now. It's called Navajo Traditional Teachings. Navajo Traditional Teachings. That's the name of it. It's about a Navajo elder who's giving some real knowledge. I was watching him this morning, and if you hadn't heard of the guy, the page or whatever, go check him out. This is Native American soil that we're on. My wife is half Native American, and that's a true tragedy in itself. They say slavery was America's first sin or what, original sin. No, there's plenty more before slavery, but slavery was one of the biggest. And we're trying to forget all about that. But the Trail of Tears, you ever heard of that? A guy by the name of Andrew Jackson. The guy that, his statue is still up somewhere. Was the president of this country. That was truly, in my own opinion, the original sin. America's original sin. There's no way this country is going to heal and move forward the way it should without admitting it's wrong. That's like you being in a family and there's this uncle or whoever who molested members of the family. Everybody know about it, but we're trying to forget about it. You can't heal like that. You got to talk about that thing, and you got to explain why it was wrong. You got to teach others why it's wrong to degrade people, treat people unhumane. And you got to move forward from there. And you got to let the younger generation know what those wrongs were. That's the only way we're going to move forward. I'll say it again. Kwame Brown he got his hands in that glitch and he's spreading it wide open. And this is not my opinion. This is a fact. All you got to do is see, some of the things that's going on with it. And for all those people who came at him, because they certainly did come at him, you can't be quiet but for so long. You can be quiet, but we still know you out there. We still know you exist, and we saw your true colors. We've seen your true colors. And the system that you've been a part of for all these years is backfiring now. If you can think of one of the lawnmower, you're trying to cut the grass, and that thing keep backfiring, spitting out smoke and shaking, and that's the system right now. You trying to cut the lawn, keep on cutting the lawn like nothing wrong. Yeah, we see you, we can hear you, we can we see the smoke, baby. We see it. Sinking ship. This whole thing is getting turned upside down on top of his head. And people like Kwame and all of his supporters, all the YouTubers, Self-Talk is doing his thing. Carcino is still doing his thing. I throw my little chips, I guess you can say. But yeah, still feeling the love, still loving you guys. And I ask you guys, if you still like the content, go ahead and like, subscribe, share the message. If you are a reader, we keep talking about readers, what the reading levels of these little boys, and my suggestion is to read. I mean, there's no shortcut to getting the reading levels up, but to read. If you want to read at a higher level, you got to read. What is this? What are you doing? People drive so crazy these days. It's gonna cut right in front of me. I'm glad I saw it before it got there. Yeah, you gotta read. That bottom line, we gotta make reading popular again. We gotta make reading cool again. That sounds impossible. I will say that. As a writer, as someone who's been writing for 20 years, getting young kids to actually read a book. I'm trying to think of a comparison, something. I don't know. That's like almost saying, instead of getting in your car and driving to the store, getting on a horse, or walking. That's what it sounds like almost. To a kid, that's what it sounds like. So instead of me getting in this Ferrari to go to Walmart, you want me to get on a horse and break out the buggy and the carriage. Well, really, that's not even the case. You can't even compare reading with anything else, because once you begin to read, once you realize that reading is is much more, can give you much more than any YouTube video or movie. Once you really realize that, you know, nobody can tell you anything other than that. But the thing is, you got to get it started. You got to initialize. You got to come up with some ways for people, for kids to enjoy reading again. Not only kids, but adults. You know? I mean, I write, but I'm guilty of not reading enough myself. Because we're so busy these days. We're always busy. And when we're not busy, we don't want to read. We want to just chill out and let something tell us our vision. You know? We don't want to come up with we don't want to use our minds, our imaginations. We want the TV to tell us our vision. That's the truth. But the saying is, readers are leaders. You ask Bill Gates. Bill Gates, you won't catch Bill Gates anywhere without 5, 6, 7 books with him. You know? This is one of the richest men in the world. You want to strive to something, I would say that's the thing to strive to. But anyways, guys, I'm at another location here. I gotta go in here and do some work. Again, if you like the content, go ahead and like, subscribe, share. I'm one of Kwame Brown's supporters. I'm also with Third Eye Geechee. I got the mark to prove it. And that's another thing I wanted to get into. I wanted to talk about these mysterious marks that appear on African Americans. Like, I know quite a few people with that mark in the middle of the forehead. They got hit in the forehead, and this is the second time I was hit in my forehead. I got a brother with the same mark. You know, and I'm gonna make this real quick, but you know, in Africa, certain tribes, they have tribal markings on their faces and bodies. I believe that throughout a person's DNA, throughout a person's spiritual journey, you know, because I believe in reincarnation. I believe when you come back to this planet, certain things follow you, and maybe those markings follow you. Because, like I said, I know people with markings in the same spots as other people, exact same spots, family members, you know. We don't know enough about our own history as African Americans. We do not know enough about our own history. You know, I've never been to Africa. It's one place I definitely gotta go visit. I gotta go to West Africa in particular, because that's where my people are from. That's where my blood traces back to. But anyways, I'm about to park my vehicle.
Please press the button and take the parking ticket. Please take the parking ticket. Please enter following the guide.
I'm about to park my vehicle and get out and do a little work and get on back to the house. Y'all stay easy, stay blessed, and keep on trying to bring down this system. Do whatever you gotta do to bring down this system. God bless all.